What is going on, everybody? Goofy Rexy here, and hope everybody is doing well. And welcome, guys, to the weekly headliner update, week number 40. Now, if you're new to the weekly headliner, this is where we discuss what is upcoming this week at Marvel Strike Force, and then we recap the important topics from the previous week as well. We have a lot to cover this week here, so we're going to talk about Phoenix. That's a legendary event that's returning this week. We also had an opportunity here to try the new Doom 2 raids, and going to talk about my reaction here, my feedback to the Doom 2 raids. War changes are currently live in game. How do we feel about them? Are they good? Are they bad? And it also looks like we're going to be getting Silver Samurai some sort of time this week. We saw an update here, or at least an image on the Twitter page for Marvel Strike Force. It looks like we potentially might be getting Silver Samurai. We're going to talk about some of the characters that you can use there for the event. But that, guys, and so much more to discuss here in the weekly headliner update. And we're going to start right now. All right. Welcome back, guys. If it's your first time coming to the channel here and you would like to see some more Marvel Strike Force content, then consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell so that you would know when my videos do go live. And then down below, guys, there's some links that to pay attention to here. One where you can join my Discord and be a part of the Goof Troop. There's a few other links, my Twitch link, my Twitter link, my Facebook link. That are also down below. You can follow me there. I stream Marvel Strike Force and Future Revolution content on a weekly basis. And then there's also some other links. One where you can become a Patreon, which is another way for you to support the channel here. And then also Amazon coins. If you're looking to save some money on your Marvel Strike Force or any of your in-game purchases, then in-game mobile purchases, then Amazon coins is right for you if you want to save up to 20% here. But let's dive into the first topic for this week, which are going to be our character blitzes. So this week we're going to have America Chavez and Yo-Yo. In order, it's going to be America Chavez and then Yo-Yo. Now, both of these characters probably aren't really sought after characters in the game. I think Yo-Yo probably holds a little bit more value, being that she's a character that you can use to unlock a legendary character in Ebony Maw. Now, I know Ebony Maw probably not at the top tier of the game anymore, but still usable character here. The Black Order team is still a good team that you can use. If you care about war, you can use them in offensive war. I still find that they're a valuable team. Maybe not a sought after team anymore, but still a good team in general. But this is an opportunity for you to get some shards for these characters here. Yo-Yo, she is in the raid store, so an opportunity for you to save some currency here on your raid. Give you some of your raid currency and maybe focus on some other characters or focus on some other gear that is currently in that store. Now, I could have took a look here at some of the predictions that we have for the Luminous Blitz and then see how we could compare that over to probably what America Chavez and Yo-Yo are going to get here. But these numbers are going to be high numbers, considering that these are for new characters, right? So if we take a look at probably a previous blitz like the Ironheart Blitz, now we won't be able to see like the 2 to 3% numbers or the 4 to 10% numbers here, but the top 1 to 100 numbers for a character like, so we're using the comparison of Ironheart here. When we looked at her numbers for blitzes, the top 100 cutoff was at 44 million. So you're probably going to see that the numbers are going to be in that range here if you're shooting for like the top numbers here. And I would think like maybe 20, 25%, 26%. But though for like your top 1%, whatever the case is, but the blitz prediction numbers are going to be going out sometime a little bit later on this week, so definitely pay attention to those and see what numbers you need to land at for these particular characters if you're interested in getting them. All right, like I talked about a little bit earlier, Phoenix is a legendary event that's returning on this week. Now, Phoenix is kind of in a weird spot, right? She's not necessarily a top tier character anymore, but she's definitely still quite useful, I think, in Marvel Strike Force. I think she's very good for war. If you're doing Dark Dimension 3, Dark Dimension 4, she still provides you with viable options for your global nodes in Dark Dimension 3 and still for your legendary nodes in Dark Dimension 4. Now, I do understand that there are other characters that you could use as a replacement to Phoenix, but I do still think that she holds value there is basically what I'm saying. We're going to yet to see what happens with Dark Dimension 5. I personally would like to see the Uncanny X-Men become more of a relevant team again in the game. They used to be the top arena meta, but they're not that case anymore. But I would like to see them kind of come back to being that team. They probably need another character to make them work again, work the right way. maybe Professor X, but I don't know if they'll ever be able to bring, or they ever will bring a character like that into Marvel Strike Force here. But I recently had to ISO green for her because I needed to get her to be war ready, so I'm still using her quite a bit, and I still do find her to be very valuable. There are some double drops going on right now actively for the characters that you need to unlock Phoenix, which are villain, mystic, and controller characters, so filter out your roster. And then the characters that are in those campaign nodes, you can get double drop shards for them before you have an opportunity to get double drops for those characters. So hey, congratulations if you're getting Phoenix here. Congratulations if you're upgrading Phoenix as well. Congratulations to you. Now, in other events for this week, we have this Back to Bootcamp, which is a flash event where you can get some more of those training mats, those training materials that you need. As you can see, I'm still kind of short on the tier 7 version of it. I need to get Yelena up to 7 stars in order to be able to make this work. She's the last character that I'm waiting on right now, which is the reason why she's currently sitting at level 25 on my roster. I refuse to work on her until she gets to 7 stars here. But I know for me, training mats aren't necessarily the bottleneck that it used to be. I'm not sure where you guys are right now in the game. I'm curious to hear where you guys are. Training mats seem to be fine for me at this point. I think it's because of some events like the flash event, like Back to Boot Camp. There's also been other events where there have been training mats that have been given as an addition. There are also these other events where, you know, you get double campaign energy, double ISO energy, stuff like that has helped out a bit. But now with this new recent level 85 cap, I'm not entirely sure. So stay tuned to see whether or not we're going to be back into that trading mat crunch once again here. But this is kind of where it's at. Double drop events for once again is going to be going on for this event too. So the characters that you need, skill military characters that you need to know to be able to do this event, they are going to have double drops this week. So take advantage of those. Of course, when that does happen, wait until your store, the offer reset time before you farm your characters. And then once the day reset happens the next day, farm them again. So that way you have 2 opportunities here at landing double drop shards for those characters. So these are the events for this week, Phoenix and in the Back to Boot Camp. So hey, do what you got to do. All right, so a lot of stuff happened last week. Some of the patch stuff here, I'm going to go through that. Just not everything, but there's some things that I wanted to highlight and talk about from this last week, right? Which the first thing is these Doom 2 raids. So Doom 2 raids were introduced into Marvel Strike Force, and I was a little skeptic because Doom 1.0, we've just got to manage that, and then Doom 1.1 just seemed like this massive climb, and it was really challenging. So I wasn't really sure about Doom 2 raids. We tried it on Thursday or on Friday of this past week, and then we were like, hey, you know, this is actually quite doable. So then we jumped back into it again, and I found that we barely hit 30% the last time. Right now we have 6 hours left in order to be able to complete this Doom 2 raids, and we're about 36% right now, kind of across the board, kind of even across the board here, as you can see with each individual team. So I would say this, Doom 2 raids are challenging, but it's not absurd. It's not absurd. I thought Doom 1.1 was absolutely absurd. I think in a lot of ways, Doom 1.1, it also had like some bug issues, like Electro like her passive would proc when she wasn't supposed to proc. I mean, there were times where she landed offense down when you had Doc Ock, and I'm like, how the hell is she landing offense down? It was just a really massively buggy just game mode in general. The bio node in Doom 1.1 is ridiculous. I will say this, the bio node in Doom 2 raids are very manageable. So I'll show you the progress that my team has had so far. So when we first did this, we went over to the right and we tried this mutant section. Boy, was that's a whopper, right? I realize that right now my Axeman team is not ready yet. I have them all at gear tier 14, but I probably need to get I just brought up Bishop after doing these raids. I brought up Bishop to gear tier 15 to try to get try to make that push, right? Because eventually we're going to want to push to get to 60%, not just 30%. So wanted to be able to try to get that push, so I brought him up to 15. I think I'm probably realistically going to have to get Bishop to 15, Beast to 15, Jubilee's already at 15, and then get Iceman and Kitty Pryde to probably level 80, gear tier 14, in order to be able to successfully get this content done. Luckily, I have a minimum of 5 red stars on every character, so that will definitely help out. But of course, I don't have them at 7. I don't have everybody at 7 stars. I don't think I have anybody at 7 stars. Then the highest I have is at 6. So it's still going to be some challenges there with some of the power levels, but The mutant section seems to be the hard one. We went the bio section this time. We were able to complete that pretty well. Then we went into skill, then we went into tech, and then right now I got dismantled on this last mystic boss node, but the nodes before this and the mystic node, they were manageable. So what I'm saying is that Doom 2 raids, it seemed like a good progression. I feel like this is what probably Doom 1.1 should have been, and they kind of just missed the mark where that is concerned. The symbiotes, they've found redemption. They're actually good now in these raids. They're good, which is good, because I thought I was gonna have to put them on the chopping block, man. But I love my symbiotes. My symbiotes are my favorite team, man. So I felt some type of way that I had to do that, but they found redemption here. They actually performed the best for me in these Doom 2 raids so far. I've had a lot of success using that team. Mystic team still needs a little bit more boost, and I would say at a bare minimum, you probably want to at least go with level 80 characters, gear tier 14, of course, but level 80 characters, gear tier 14, and probably G15, the important characters that you need on some of those teams. So if it's new warriors, you know, probably going to want a G15 Deathpool and G15 Cloak and Dagger. Like, you really want them to stay alive. And of course, you know, for your skill lanes, your Cap Sam, your Maria Hill, your Sharon Carters, Kestrel probably obviously already, right? You're probably going to want to get those characters to like level 80, gear tier 14, and probably bring some of them to gear tier 15. And I think as you progress to like the higher difficulties, you're probably going to want to put that teal gear on some of those characters. So that is my experience so far. It's a better experience. It's way better than Doom 1.1 in my opinion. Doom 1.1 was just ridiculous. Doom 2 raids are manageable, and that is a big deal for me. But and some other stuff that happened right with this patch were some of these war changes. Now, one of the things that they implemented and introduced into war changes, I won't show it right now, but they did talk about this here in one of their posts, and I'm sorry if I can't find it right now, but it's practice mode. It's practice mode in war. So this I pulled up this blog post, Alliance War updates, but I don't think that they mentioned war practice mode here. Oh, they do. They mentioned practice mode right down here. But so I've tried practice mode, and one of the things that I don't like about practice mode, to be honest with you, is that they've removed the war buffs. Like, it's good to get an idea of, hey, can XYZ team beat XYZ team, right? But you're not really able to get the full feel of that because the war buffs are removed. And the war ready trait, the new cargo bay addition to those rooms, hangar, like, those are significant stat boosts that are there, and not being able to go into a war matchup and have that active, it doesn't really give you an idea as to whether or not this counter will work against that counter. I used to consistently be able to use a comp with Zemo, Surfer, Black Bolt, Yo-Yo, Crystal against these Doom Rodders teams, and I'm finding that right now I'm actually having a lot more challenge being able to do that, because I were a couple of times where I tried to go in Zemo, I tried to get Zemo to land ability block on Emma. It was not successful. Now, granted, my team is 660k. I was punching up against an 800k team. I was like 830k team, but I've been able to do that punch up before. But now with these new war ready trades and the buffs that Cargo Bay is getting and Bridge, it's making some of those punch ups unrealistic. So I don't know if that's just my experience, but I'm curious to hear what your guys' experience is. But that's my experience right now with these practice mode. Basically what I'm saying is that practice mode is cute, but it's not really helping to really be able to get an idea of, hey, will this counter work against that counter, because you're not going up against the war buff. So it's just really challenging overall. So I'm curious. Let me know, guys, what your thoughts are with this practice mode and whether or not you feel like it's actually helpful. It's cool. I do it often. I'm just saying that I feel like because the war buffs are removed, it doesn't really give me the idea of what I really am trying to accomplish here, which is finding out whether or not this counter can work against that counter. But some other things in regards to the patch, just shifting gears here, talking about some other things, is this new event. It's unfortunate. We've talked about it quite a bit at length here. I talked about it in a previous video, and it's the Experiment X event, which this was an event where you're supposed to be able to get the costume bits that you need, right, in order to land your what is it? Is it pink phase? Yeah, pink phase bits, so that you could get the costume, we crunched the numbers on it. You have to really whale and slightly Kraken in order to be able to really even get the costume. And then they also introduced this teal gear that's here as well. So some of these little stack catalysts. Then you have some of this origin gear that's here. Some other stuff that's here too. And overall, I just feel like this is a really poor event that they've crafted here. And I understand that there needs to be events for Krakens. There needs to be events for whales. But the lore here for me should have been the teal gear. It should not have been the costume. I think the costume should have been something that you rewarded players with by just doing daily stuff. I think that would have been okay. And then have the Krakens and the whales shoot and target to try to get this teal gear, right? I feel like that would have been a better direction to go. And listen, I'm not a whale. I'm not a Kraken. I know that I'm probably not going to be able to get some things in certain events. I'm not going to be able to get certain characters to 7 stars. I'm not like, I understand that. But let me at least be able to get the costume for the character. Although y'all know how I feel about the Split X costume anyways. Anyway, I'm just not a big fan of it. I've never really been a big fan of it. But give me the opportunity to be able to get the costume. And then if I want to spend some money on cores or spend more cores or whatever the case is, then I could go ahead and I could grab, you know, and spend it and then get some of this extra teal gear that's there. But it didn't even give me the option. And that is what I don't like about this event. It's rather frustrating to me, in all honesty, because it just, once again, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it here. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I'm not a big fan of it whatsoever. But with that being said, this event was supposed to run simultaneously, right, with the Silver Samurai event campaign. At least I believe so. But of course, they delayed Silver Samurai, and he's supposed to be coming around sometime this week. And the reason why I believe that is because we saw on their Twitter page, they actually did this update here where they posted Silver Samurai. And as you can see, they changed what's going on with his chest. Before there was a symbol there, but they removed it because of some information that was brought to their attention about how this was offensive. So they made some changes here and took the symbol off of his chest. So it looks like we're probably going to be getting his offer sometime soon. And then most likely we're going to get the event campaign to probably run sometime this week. It's definitely my expectation. But I believe that this Weapon X, this Experiment X event was supposed to be running simultaneously along with the event campaign, which probably, to me, if that was the case, they probably should have also delayed the Experiment X event. And if people are going to spend extra cores, at least give them something that's worthy of spending extra cores, which would have been the event campaign, but they didn't do it simultaneously. So this is kind of what it is. But when we look at the honorable trait that you're going to need for characters for the Silver Samurai event campaign is already active in the game. So there's the honorable trait. And when you scroll through the characters here, there are some pretty good ones to use. Deathpool, Maria Hill, Captain Sam. Moon Knight's not bad. Black Bolt, if you have him already, is pretty good. Carter, Shang-Chi, if you were here, Cloak, a Dagger. So there's some pretty good characters that are here. Wolverine, right? There's some pretty good characters that are currently here that you can use for this event. Doubt that any of these characters are probably going to be in the honorable orb, but this is kind of is what it is, right? That this is, yeah. Tough chance that all of these characters will be there. I think probably some of them will be. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe one of the Secret Avenger characters are in there or one of the new Warrior characters are in there. I doubt that you're going to get every single character that's going to be in that orb, but that's definitely something that I'm expecting to happen this week here. So definitely look out for that and start planning now what characters you can invest into. If you haven't invested into some of these characters already that you're going to be able to use for this particular event. But shifting gears again, let's go to the blog post. So we got some information on this new upcoming season for the Battle Pass. So the Battle Pass is supposed to shift and end. We currently have the one for Mum right now. That's supposed to end this Friday. And the new Battle Pass that's going to start here is going to include Emma Frost. Now, what makes this feel kind of bad again is that not only are you going to be fighting or going to be doing a battle pass to get some shards here, but you're also going to have to you're going to need to do this battle pass as well in order to be able to get the Emma Frost costume, which is the Dawn of the X costume. Oh, wait, Dawn of the X costume, is that right? I thought Cyclops was the Dawn of the X costume. Is this wrong? We'll look at that later, but you're supposed to be getting this new Emma Frost costume. I might just be this. I feel like this is Cyclops, but maybe I'm wrong about this here. I didn't didn't fully follow up on it. We can probably look at it right now. Isn't the Dawn of the X costume? Remind me, guys. We're doing this. We're doing this live in the video. Yes, we are. Dawn of the X is Cyclops costume, right? That's not Emma's costume. Maybe that's incorrect text. Either way, guys. I don't like this. I don't like that and the only way that you're going to be able to get the bits to get the costume is that you're going to have to go the premium path. So once again, this is not an event. You're not going to be able to get a costume again. This is the second costume now. In addition to the Wolverine costume, this is the second costume now that you're going to have to spend money in order to get. Now, this is significantly less spending, but it's $20, right? It's $20. Still $20 that you have to pay to do it, but it's not as bad as the Wolverine one. But still, either way, come on, man, it's a costume, bro. It doesn't do anything and add any sort of value to the character in the game. I don't know. Why do this? It's just a feel bad. It just seems rather greedy, in my opinion, to do this. And come on, just figure it out, guys. Do better than this. I don't like this whatsoever. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. And then lastly, guys, last thing I wanted to talk about here was Maria Hill. And she's going to be going into the War Store, which, by the way, for those who were frustrated by the fact that we had a character going into the War Store, I hope that your frustration was because we have yet another character going into the War Store, and not that they were and that they haven't really reworked the War Store, because we should have expected that the character was going to go here. So we can't be upset that the character is going there. We just have to be upset with the fact that they have not reworked the War Store. The War Store is dumb crowded right now. Teal gear, orange gear, hero uniques. So many things are currently in the War Store right now. And now you're adding Maria Hill there as well. Damn it. There's too many things going on. If you've seen the price of the teal gear in that War Store, it is absolutely bananas and it's absolutely crazy. But these are my thoughts here, guys. These are the only things that I wanted to talk about here in this video. What are you guys thinking here about a lot of the stuff that's going on right now? I think that the biggest thing for me that really sucks is the Experiment X event. They really missed an opportunity there to really do right by the community. And I just felt like it was really frustrating for me to be able to see that. The war practice mode, a little underwhelmed, not because of the opportunity to be able to practice, but just because of how kind of limited it really is, not having those warm ups there. Those are just kind of my thoughts, and hopefully we'll be able to do the Silver Samurai event this week. I'm actually looking forward to that very well. But listen, until next time, guys, want to hear what you guys have to say? Leave it in the comments, guys. Appreciate you guys so very much. Y'all be blessed and y'all be safe. Whew. Silver Samurai coming, dude. Nah, Dawn of the X, right? It gotta be. Dawn of the X is supposed to be Cyclops costume. I'm not crazy, am I? I mean, I am crazy, but that's a separate conversation for a different time. That's neither here or there. I mean,